Hello drivers! A bittersweet news to comment on today, but a driver news nonetheless, so it is worthy of discussion. Let's get the information straight before the discussion. There will be no live-action adaptation on the Binge platform, but Ubisoft is working on several projects using the driver IP. With the release of Ubisoft annual report last month, it was revealed that the live-action adaptation of the driver series has been cancelled. And this is the bad part of the news. As reported by the website GameFile, it is in addition to the closure of the production company responsible for the adaptation at Ubisoft, which was rightly called Hot Rod Tanner LLC. At least they got the name right, even if we will never see it doing anything. Nevertheless, a spokesman for Ubisoft replied to the GameFile website that although the live-action film will never see the light of day, Ubisoft is actively working on several driver projects that will be announced in due course. I had done my own research on Binge beforehand, as it got really quiet after 2022 and its numerous pushbacks. It was possible to get a glimpse of the state of the platform by looking at the other shows that had been announced and checking the news through their community. Indeed, Binge was supposed to be a platform for live-action adaptation of gaming IPs. As well as Driver, The Hunt Showdown and System Shock were announced for the platform. System Shock seems to be the most advanced one, at least the identity of the director was revealed. As these IPs have received more coverage recently than Driver, as the games are still being updated or released on new platforms, it was possible for journalists or the community to contact representatives and ask about the live-action series. This is how we found out that System Shock Live Action was currently in trouble to continue production, while The Hunt Showdown was confirmed to be cancelled. Apparently, the deal was that Binge would be given some time to produce the show, and if they failed to do so, the rights would be given back to the game publishers. There was no way of knowing this information about Driver at the time, as that IP has no current active projects, so we had no way of asking. It didn't look good that the other shows were cancelled or in trouble, because the viability of the platform also depended on the diversity and quality of the other shows to ensure it had enough viewers and success. Anyway, we can assume that Driver was cancelled for the same reasons, because it was in troubled production or because the launch period was over. I was always optimistic about the live-action adaptation, but let's face it, there were plenty of alarming signs. The platform had not been launched yet, it was niche, and it relied heavily on cryptocurrency as a business model with a watch-to-earn model and NFTs. It's time for me to update my custom YouTube emojis, by the way, and remove the Binge logo. You can support the channel and get access to these custom emojis by joining the Redriver Club. Click the join button below the video for more information. Under the circumstances, the live action could have been the final nail in the coffin for the Driver series if it had been released in poor quality and with poor reception. But at the same time, it was the only official Driver content for years, so of course we wanted it to succeed in the hope that it will give Ubisoft an incentive to greenlight a new game or remastered versions. This is why I think the news of the cancellation is not so disappointing, because for the first time Ubisoft mentions that they are still actively working on the Driver series, and now we know for sure that it is not the live-action adaptation. We don't have any information on what those projects are, but let's hope they are the games we are looking for. I've always thought that the live-action was part of a bigger plan, as it didn't make sense to just produce the adaptation, which could be seen as a byproduct of a transmedia campaign, just like Driver San Francisco, which saw the comics and the live-action teaser. Anyway, I would still like to see a good live-action adaptation of the Driver series, since the games are really a tribute to Hollywood car chases movies, but Binge was definitely not the place for that. Live-action adaptation of games are also difficult projects, and other attempts by Ubisoft to adapt their biggest IP have had their share of problems. For instance, the Division movie for Netflix was announced 8 years ago, and only recently did the Watch Dogs movie enter full production. We will see how that turns out. What about you? Are you excited by the news, or do you see the glass as half empty? Would you have liked to see a live-action adaptation, or are you just looking for a new game in the Driver series? Let me know your feelings and opinions in the comments. Thanks to my Red Weavers for supporting the channel, DriverDimension.com, French Contact, Neurosyn, Stenkon on YouTube, Paul Lanois, Mut, David Autosport, Denis Frontier, and the newcomers Polniak and Joshua Bader. Your support is greatly appreciated, and if there are any new official driver projects coming up, I will do my best to cover them and share our passion for the Driver series.